We will start the regular press conference by Minister MOTEGI. There are 3 points that I would like to introduce. First of all, this is about the result of the ministerial negotiation for the budget. I have negotiated with Finance Minister Katayama regarding fiscal 2026 initial budget for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. As the international situation is becoming increasingly severe and complex, and with the perspective that diplomacy is the fundamental requirement to protect the lives and properties of the Japanese population, I engaged in the negotiation, and as a result, a budget increase for 3 areas that our ministry considers important were accepted. Firstly, the budget for OSA, for official security assistance, was increased by 3 billion yen and was raised from 8.1 to 100 correction to 18.1 billion in total, which was an increase of 10 billion. Secondly, ODA budget increased by 2.6 billion yen, and ODA was increased for the first time after 3 years, and with subsidies by JICA, it has gone up to a total of 303.1 billion yen in total. Thirdly, in order to deal with information warfare and to bolster cultural diplomacy, a budget of 1.5 billion yen was approved and became 25 billion yen in total. As a result, the initial budget for fiscal 2026, we are still going through the detailed calculation, but it is expected to go beyond 810 billion yen. And since 1997, for the first time after 30 years, it is likely to become the largest ever initial budget. In order to deal with the severe international environment, we have to deal with the large number of diplomatic issues, and therefore the ministry will utilize this budget prudently with responsibility and will continue our powerful diplomacy with a broad perspective.
Next, second point, the amendment to the passport issuance and fees. Let me explain about the passport issuance fees as described in the handout. In accordance with the instruction given by Prime Minister Takeichi at the Interministerial Conference on accepting foreigners and realizing orderly, consistent coexistent society, the Foreign Ministry will adjust lowering the fees. The Ministry will submit a draft amendment to the Passport Act to the next ordinary session of the Diet. If approved by the Diet, the fee for the 10-year passport for nationals above the age of 18 will be reduced to 9,000 yen from 16,000 yen. For persons at and above 12 years old and below 18 years old, the fee for 5-year passport will be reduced to 4,500 yen, and the same for the below 12-year-old from the current 11,000 yen. Lower fees are expected to promote tourism, people-to-people exchanges, and promotion of international understanding. And people and those who are going to travel overseas are kindly advised to be registered at Tabireji at the time of international travel. The third point, it is about a strategic partnership or framework between Japan and Mercosur. Last Saturday, on December 20th, Japan and the member states of Mercosur launched a strategic partnership framework between Japan and Mercosur. In order to enhance economic relations between Japan and Mercosur, discussions will be promoted on broad areas including trade and investment, and Well, if it is not have a direct result immediately, but under this framework, the first meeting will be adjusted to be held early next year. That's all from me.
If you have any question, please raise your hand. If you are invited, please come forward to the microphone. Please tell us your name and affiliation before the question. Ms. Hase, Nippon TV.
This is Hase of Nihon TV. I think there was a comment about the passport and fee reduction. What is going to be the most appropriate timing for the reduction? As I have already mentioned, with regard to the lower the fee, on behalf of the government, at this point in time, it is difficult to talk about when that is going to be, but there is a instruction from Prime Minister, and there's going to be there should be a consideration to be given to Japanese nationals. Therefore, this should be done in accordance with the raising of the international tourist duty. At the tourism agency is considering the possibility of application of a new duty rate as of July 1st next year. Thank you very much. I would like to ask a question about Horizon Europe. The government announced on 22nd in Japan and the EU reached an agreement in principle to participate in Horizon Europe as an associate members. What is your take on the objective and expected outcome? Well, that as a associate member, I think the international research institutions and also other companies will be able to gain access to the grants from the EU. And then as a result, there's going to be a possibility of the international cooperation on science, technology, and innovation cooperation that will help our competitiveness in terms of industry as well as a reach capability. And this will also lead us to the contribution and to rule makings and international standard making. Going forward, as early as possible in 2026, we would like to conclude an agreement, and for that we were going to coordinate discussions with the relevant ministries.
Mr. Yamaki, Asahi Shimbun newspaper. Thank you, Miyawaki Asahi Shimbun. This is the question about your meeting with Mr. Wee Sun-lak, Director of National Security ROK, that you had yesterday. The press release said that you explained Japan's view on the recent regional affairs. What did you discuss in terms of recent Japan-China relationship? Thank you. Yes, there was a readout already. I did have a meeting with the Director of National Security, Mr. Wee, yesterday. In view of the recent positive trend of our bilateral relationship, we reaffirmed the importance of developing our bilateral relationship with a future-oriented perspective and in a stable manner, and agreed to continue close cooperation between the two governments. As for the specifics, since these are diplomatic exchanges, I will refrain from going into details, but I myself explained the position of Japan on the regional affairs neatly and thoroughly. Next question, please. Yes, Mr. Nagahara, Sankei Shimbun newspaper. Nagahara, Sankei Shimbun. This is overlapping with the question at the press conference last year, and this is about the 10 years after the December 2015 Japan ROK agreement on the former Comfort women, the 2015 agreement on comfort women that affirmed the final irreversible resolution reached a tete adversary this weekend. As you have mentioned in the recent press conference, I agree that the bilateral relationship is progressing in a stable manner with future-oriented perspective. But in 2018, when the Moon Jae administration unilaterally announced the dissolution of the Reconciliation Healing Foundation, the financial contribution by Japan remains without conclusion, and there has been a series of court rulings ordering the government of Japan to pay compensation. Damages have been handed down lawsuits filed by former comfort women and others, but corrective measures not been taken. How does government of Japan view these issues? How will you respond? In my earlier stint during my foreign minister the bilateral relationship was facing a large number of challenges. It had cooled down. And as I mentioned last week, regarding the issue of former comfort women, indeed there was an agreement. So as a result of the efforts by both the Japanese and South Korean governments in December 2015 at the Japan ROK Foreign Ministers meeting, this was agreed as the final and irreversible resolution. The government of Republic of Korea also maintains that it will respect this agreement, and it is respecting this agreement as the official agreement between the two governments, and we will continue appropriate responses through good communication between the two governments. Yes, there are many issues, and there could be various comments. However, both of the governments have agreed about this issue, and we have confirmed our will and intention that we will move forward. If there are issues, we are going to tackle one by one. Next question, please. Ms. Nakano, Bloomberg. Murakami, Bloomberg. This is a question about Taiwan. According to the Taiwan Foreign Ministry, the number of visits, 123 visits by Japanese members of parliament have visited Taiwan, more than 97 of last year. And during this time, a group of 30 members of parliament is expected to visit Taiwan. As the Japan-China relationship is deteriorating, when you do not have an official relationship with Taiwan, what is the need for continuing this MP diplomacy? As you are aware, the relationship between Japan and Taiwan is a working relationship on a non-governmental basis, and our position is to maintain this position. This has been the consistent position of the government of Japan. The activities by members of parliament or by political parties, what relationship it should be, the government wishes to refrain from making any comment. Are there further questions, please? Yes, Ms. Chiba, Gigi Press. Chiba, Gigi Press. As you mentioned about the budget, I would like to ask one question. In terms of OSA budget, it is going to be increased significantly. And the OSA, compared to the initial year for this year, the number of countries have increased, and the equipment is more sophisticated. And you are going to support the security of the developing countries. What is the meaning and significance of that? At the moment, we are pursuing free and open Indo-Pacific. We are trying to establish FOIP. For that purpose, the security capacity of respective countries will have to be engaged, and enhancing the capability of the respective countries are becoming increasingly important. So 8.1 going up to 18.1 billion, which is an addition of 10 billion yen. So in accordance with the needs of the different countries, in view of the respective needs, we want to make appropriate use of the OSA budget. Further questions, please? If not, we will conclude today's press conference. Thank you very much.